Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another Union Spaceship Command devlog. I'm Padraig.
And I'm Mark.
And we're here to talk to you a bit about the game, which if you're not familiar with, is a cooperative multi-crew spaceship simulator. Mark, do you want to talk about that a bit more?
Okay, so you and up to 4 friends take a different role on the same spaceship. It's captain, helm, tactical, engineering, and science comms. And if you've ever watched Star Trek, you kind of get an idea of what each of those is. So helm pilots the ship, engineering manages power, and the simplification obviously, but tactical targets and fires weapons, and science scans and countermeasures and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's it. And of course the captain orders everybody about.
Yeah, great. And I think tone-wise, as we've said a bit before, we're going for, you know, big capital ships, interesting battles, and a kind of an experience built along the lines of games like maybe Silent Hunter and that kind of vibe. Would that be right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So with the depth and hopefully the accessibility of something like the Silent Hunter series.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that out of the way, I've been reading the changelog, and I know what we've been working on, and I'm interested. You even got to one of my highlighted flagged issues that I wanted done for a while now.
The goal from the last devlog to this one really was just to add the preset system for the power wheel so that you can drag connections from the reactor cores to the equipment, and the presets allow you to make presets of those, so you can have one for, you know, combat where your turrets are charged, you can have one for defense where your shields are charged and so on, and switch between them very quickly. But what happened in between is I realized that I wanted to start implementing a lot of the kind of UI structure, you know, so that the whole thing felt as a single whole. And really, we've been working on the design for these UIs for over a year.
Yeah, this has been iterated a lot, and there's been a lot of like feedback from different sources, and we've been kind of building them all. But lots of the elements that until now have just been in an Illustrator document, basically,
yeah, exactly,
are now in the game and work. So that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great start. And as part of that, once we got them in place, it was finally time to get scaling in. And Pod has been going on, he got a fancy 4K screen laptop and has wanted to play the game. But when he played Union before this, everything was teeny tiny on the screen.
Yeah, and I have to say that, you know, to my 4K brethren out there who are embracing the future, you don't, you know, that's really annoying in games when you play for a lovely screen and nothing works. So this game will support 4K at launch. Whole host of like resolutions. Obviously, it looks beautiful in 1080p as well. What's the minimum supported?
Is 1366 by 768. I mean, that's officially supported. I mean, technically it'll go lower and will be usable depending on your eyesight, basically.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
So netbook up to decent computer, you're going to be able to play this. Yeah, that's great.
I'll just actually go through this. So the actual manage crew screen is still using placeholders, but you can see the button works here. And I mean, engineering is still the one that we're focused on first. So we're going to do engineering, then tactical, helm and captain, and science in that order basically. And engineering first because it's, as I like to say, it's the beating heart of the ship. Without engineering, nothing works basically. Yeah. So yeah, this is where most of the focus has been. You can see now that the wheel sits in a place rather than just floating on the screen. And over the next few weeks, really 2 or 3 weeks now, we'll actually have the whole completed UI in place. The simulation is actually working in the background. It's all there. It's just building the UI to show it and give feedback, really. Yeah,
and it's crazy how much, to me anyway, how quickly it's been moving recently. Because I know you spent ages building systems, and that was really important, and they're very in depth. But like, I'm quite a visual person, so all of a sudden, all of these visual elements are coming in, which is great.
One thing new on the power wheel since last time is you can now, as well as dragging connections, to increase and decrease them. So we'll just drag a new connection here. You can left click on the connection to increase it and right click to decrease it. So you don't have to keep dragging everywhere all the time. You always need a connection created before you can actually adjust it though.
You need something to click on before exactly. That makes sense.
And little animations here, so that one might be a bit lost, but when you click in it, when you increase or decrease power, the nodes give a quick flash to show that you've done it. If you fire a turret now, please, Podge.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
that's not a turret.
No, it's not. Finding targets. These asteroids. Oh, there we go.
There we go. And do it again. Okay, if you see here, if you watch the icons as power fires, you'll see they flash yellow. A little bit of work to do on the animation yet, but these icons will flash and actually expand and contract quickly to show that it's being used, basically. And what will happen if you just fire again now, Podge, and if you watch this, there you go. As Podge is firing, it's increasing the heat, and if the heat goes into the integrity, it burns it away. And when that happens, the system will flash.
Okay, cool. So things are getting a lot easier. Definitely the connections, being able to modify them directly is nice.
Yeah, it obviously makes a big difference. Yeah. I mean, it's all getting more usable, and we're building in more feedback, you know. There's still a good way to go, but we're making steady progress. I'm quite happy with it. And finally then, for the last 2 weeks since our last devlog, is the big item is these presets. So let me just clear out some power here. So I can also right click on these nodes now to kill the power. That's actually new since the last devlog as well. And so this is our standard at the moment. If I now switch to custom 1, it returns to a default configuration. And if I now, let's say, change custom 1, let's remove all the power to the back systems and go to custom 2, it's again back to default, back to custom 1, and there's no power to rear, and back to standard, and there's no power to the front. So, I mean, it's very simple to use. You just change your configuration on the config that you want. Later on, I will add the ability to change the names of these. It's just adding the UI option to do that.
Yeah, so you could have a loadout that had all power to, for example, weapons on the front of the ship.
Yeah, exactly. So let's take this here on the standard configuration. Oh yeah, I can just click here. Let's give power to just the turrets.
Cool. So they're all at full power at the moment.
Yeah, and that's our all attack, no defense strategy.
Great strategy. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, and just as a minor note, and it's not important for this demonstration, but if you put all your power across one connection, so if we're feeding 9 power across one connection to one system, that dramatically increases the chance of an overload. So overloads occur when a system gets hit for damage. So when it burns or when it's attacked, if an overload occurs, it'll go back down this connection and cause some serious damage, basically.
Like right back to the reactor as opposed to... Cool. Okay, that's not good, but it adds another gameplay element, something to think about anyway.
Yeah.
I noticed it earlier and I wanted to point it out. You can only click on the crew icons in the top right to which you've been assigned. So if you can see those three...
Let me kick you out, actually. We'll get them... Sorry.
No, weapons!
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I take all the roles now... I'm captain, by the way, so the captain can kick people out of their roles. And in fact, out of the entire crew. And so... Right now, this is our full role complement. We don't have science in the game yet because that's one of the last to come. So this is Captain, Helm, Tactical, Engineering, and Observer. And this is the Observer where you can just look around the ship.
Get a look at the ship, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I think that's everything now for this.
Great.
Week.
Thanks for tuning in. We're going to do another one in 2 weeks again and let you guys know what's going on.
Yeah, you can keep up with dev progress as well on our forums.
Yeah, wiredgames.eu/forums, plural? Yeah. Plural,
yeah.
Yeah, or just wiredgames.eu and through the magic.
Yeah, we put the links up on the
captions. You can get right there. And we're also on Facebook, and obviously we're on YouTube, or you wouldn't be listening to us. So, yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay, thanks guys.
Thanks very much.